This is on Zoom. Okay. Okay, you're all set. If you want to start. All right, well, here. Okay, we're gonna Board Planning Commission meeting December 4th, 2023, 5:30 p.m. Please stand of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, I'm looking for the approval of the October 2nd, 2023 minutes as presented. We had no November meetings.
So moved. I'll second.
First and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And we've got the short-term rental for 6507 Willow Court. I believe she's on Zoom.
Yep, they are.
Everybody's got the application. Looks like the application was filled out. We've got from Racine County Public Health. We've got the maps. Just want to know if anybody has any questions about anything. We've got the insurance binder as well, too.
I don't have the insurance binder. Did it come out?
I may not have put it, because I don't like sending those, like, but they do have everything that they need.
Yeah, that
I
would be
blocked
my
most of it
question.
out.
She hasn't, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I hadn't seen that either, but
And then she has the state licenses. The only question I would have is if they have read and understand the operating rules.
Hannah, Lauren, you both have read the ordinances regarding short-term rentals.
Yep.
is this a new short-term rental? And the maximum occupancy is what?
Anna, what's the maximum occupancy?
We were, I think, thinking of 14.
Yeah, so we're undecided on that. It looked like it was based on parking spots, but we, by parking spots, we have 16. We don't plan on having that many. So we're kind of trying to figure out what the right number is.
That was the basis for my question. There was, it looks like there's, the structure has a fair amount of space in it, but I do wonder whether there is the parking to support that number of people in line with the ordinance as it's written.
Yep. So I did a map of the parking area, and it looks like there could be 8 cars there, including the garage. It's a 3-car garage.
Oh, it's a
Oh, it's a 3-car garage?
It's a
Yep.
3-car garage, but we'd only be using 2 of the spaces in the garage.
Okay.
And how many spaces do you think in your parking area that would accommodate?
6.
6.
Okay.
My question too, with that amount of people, we just make sure that we're abiding by noise ordinances, things like that, because when you get that many people, it might be.
Yeah, and that's not our goal. We just want to, we don't want to mob there. We just want to have the option, and then we're going to have rules in there as far as quiet time and stuff like that.
Plus, will be given a copy of the regulations too when I do the permit.
Yeah, no other questions. It's just the sort of the open question about the occupancy and the number of parking spaces. So I don't know that there's any specific follow-up we need on that, but it is just on the record an open question regarding how it will be operated.
So how do we answer that, or what do we need to do for that?
Well, if you've got 6 parking places, that would be for 12 people.
Plus
At
two.
maximum.
Plus 2 in the
Plus 2 in the
garage.
garage.
Plus 2 in the garage.
Plus 2 in the garage.
Yeah,
Yes.
Then it would be 16.
yeah.
And I think to that question, we're looking at 14 it would be a minimum of 10 occupants and a maximum of 14 occupants. So we have bedrooms that would actually sleep 10. So the additional 4 would be, you know, air mattresses, things like that. So we're kind of flexible within that. So the minimum would be 10.
And I just want to make sure, looking at this, all those bedrooms have some sort of access, like an egress window or a door or something like that?
Correct. And we had it inspected by, I can't remember the lady's name.
Okay.
Jennifer,
Okay.
I think it was, yeah.
Jennifer.
Yeah. Any other questions or discussion? Have a motion?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much and follow up.
So we'll see you guys on Zoom, Monday.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
So much.
All right, have a good
Thank
evening,
you.
you too.
You too. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
All right, any correspondence? Anyone in correspondence? I don't. No public comments. Any public comments? Dale and Doug?
Doing a great job.
I just want to state for
If
the
I can, I'd
record.
just like to raise a question for the town board. I've got a copy of the ordinance regarding littering. Recently, we've seen several people blowing whole yards full of leaves into the river.
Oh,
And that's not gonna help our river in any way, shape, or
Ooh,
form.
not at all.
yeah.
No, that is a no-no. And
Yeah.
in fact, the WWMD posted an announcement or instructions on the homepage of their website about the fact that that is not allowed and the negative consequences that it can have on the waterway by blowing that stuff into the water.
The reason I'm asking is if you read the ordinance the way it's written, it just says you can't throw debris into the river.
Oh, that's debris.
But I'm wondering if it couldn't be, have a word added in front of it, yard debris, specifically leaves.
Yeah, it'll take more.
Debris and yard waste.
There you go.
They'll have to have a meeting to repeal and recreate.
Mhm.
Right now, we're recodifying, so I would tell the board not to do that right this second, just because.
Good point.
But I would think debris, all
That's-
debris.
When I was
And I
talking
think
to
that-
Well, I just don't want to wind up in court with it. That's why the more
Yeah.
specific you are,
yeah,
in that particular case, I think
Sure.
you're better off.
Okay.
Because I sure don't want to see any more of it. I mean, when
No.
it comes
Yeah.
down the river, it's
It's
like,
bad.
it's like a landfill coming down.
Wow.
Maybe ticketed for that, if somebody saw it, good idea.
Well, that's why I want this cleared up, because I
Yeah.
want it to be, where somebody's gonna say, well, it doesn't say you can't do it, leaves.
Sure.
You know, in court, it's the way that,
Yeah, no, you're right.
I was gonna ask Mike, but he's not here tonight.
Yeah. Common sense would say debris of any type, but I understand what you're saying. Lots of times the common sense isn't applied. So thank you for bringing that up.
Well, I think the ill-fated logic that some people use is that, so there's trees along a river. Trees have leaves fall into the river, that's fine. You know, I would never throw cement blocks in, but leaves, I mean, that's a natural thing. And
Mhm.
you know, I'm just trying to think of what's the rationalization somebody's going through
Mhm.
to make themselves think that this is okay.
Yeah,
Again, you don't know what you don't know sometimes, so,
sure.
so I do think that whenever you do it, you probably need to be specific, because some people,
And then what I'd like to do, if that could be done with making it more specific, then I'd like to go back to the WWMD and in one of their newsletters, particularly in late summer, early fall, tell people right up front, okay?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
Because
good
it's,
point.
they'll go to all of the riparian owners.
sure. Well, maybe also, when you guys have time, maybe that's something that can be put on the website too.
Yep.
Just so people know. Yeah, because you're right, they may justify it to themselves, well, leaves blow in the water anyway, right?
Yeah, I'd encourage you guys to check out the WWMD homepage because they do a good job of
Yeah.
pointing out, I mean, to your point, Max, but, well, leaves fall from the trees and what's the big deal? But they land on the lawn's got fertilizer or whatever else on it, or other chemicals and different kinds of things, and all that. If you use a blower, you're blowing all that right into the waterway.
Well, the one call that I got last night, the person said they're watching a neighbor from the street all the way through the yard out into the river.
Yeah. That is something that, in my opinion, should be called in.
Yeah,
I mean, we've got oak trees on the front, and yes, some of the leaves will go in, but we also spend a ton of time with the tractor and the rake, cleaning them up and burning
yeah,
them. 'Cause that makes mess in the river real quick.
The last month I spent.
all right, well, thank you for bringing that up, we'll take that up. Any forthcoming events? Anybody?
Yeah, Terry, I'll just report on my role, planning commission's role in the cooperative boundary plan work. You know, Dale and Doug can chime in as well, but, you know, continue to work with the representatives from the village on that. And tomorrow evening is you know, we think it might be a worthwhile forthcoming event in the community listening session that we're holding at the high school. At 6 PM in the large group instruction room. You know, the basic format is gonna be just a short presentation on what a cooperative boundary agreement or plan is, the work that the subcommittee has done up to this point, and then the primary purpose of the meeting is to allow residents, communities, you know, stakeholders from the community to ask questions or provide input and that kind of thing. So, encourage as many people as possible to.
Yeah,
to
we've
join us
already had
for
a
that.
few landowners come, and I think you were here once, come to the town office and say, I don't wanna be in the village, I don't want any part of it, so that's what this is for, to hear from people what they want, what they don't want, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, that's definitely what we're looking to do here. The other thing, and we'll talk about it tomorrow, is that there's a lot of misinformation, disinformation, or just inaccurate understanding of what this even is in the first place and how it would
Yes.
work. So we're hoping that we get some questions where there'll be an opportunity to provide clarity around, you know, some of these, I'm gonna say maybe assumptions that people have around what this is or it isn't. And, so hopefully we'll be able to do some of that as well.
And you were doing the moderating, correct?
I am, unless my colleagues.
Specifically asked that Zeke not do the moderating and Zeke not even be physically present.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
So we've talked to Don and to Adam about that, and they're very supportive. They understand the backdrop of the whole thing, with respect to that individual and whatnot. So, you know, hopefully people will come and, you know, that's not even gonna be a lightning rod in the
yeah,
room.
so
to
people
speak.
can feel like they can say what they want and, you know,
Absolutely.
ask the questions that they want, and, hopefully it'll be a good turnout for us, and give us a good starting point, because like what I've talked to you about and you guys about, we as a town need to decide what we want first, right? Then you go to the table with the village. We don't wanna be like we talked, we don't wanna be reactive to what the village wants. We wanna know, what does the town want? And then say, okay, village, this is what we want, what do you want? And then we'll negotiate. So this is a good starting point for
And,
that.
and as I've learned, and I think, you know, Dale and Doug might agree with me, you know, being able to know and ask for what you want starts with understanding what's even possible.
Mhm.
Like, you know, what are the possibilities of this thing in general? So, you know, hopefully tomorrow's session might be the first of several that we actually have, and we get an increasing engagement from the community and learning, collective learning overall around what we're doing here.
Do you plan to actually explain the way the state law
Mhm.
works?
So I'm gonna touch on that. I mean, I'm definitely not gonna presume to be an expert in any way, shape, or form regarding that, but based on what we've learned, and I'm not gonna be the only speaker, I mean, anybody, any of the group can speak up, but we do want to kind of lay out how this works, how the state's process works. And really, I'm gonna touch on, the state has a set of standards by which they evaluate any of these proposed boundary plans. It's basically the lens that they look through in terms of assessing whether or not the municipalities did a decent job in drafting the thing in the first place. So we will touch on that, you know, what's the state gonna be looking for? At least at a high level, explain some of that stuff.
What about the state law regarding annexation?
As far as how it applies to this, I'm not sure that I'm the best person to be able to speak to that, so I'm not.
Yeah, we'll be going through and asking all those questions and,
Yeah.
yeah, we are,
There's an awful lot of misunderstanding about
Yes,
this.
There's a
there is.
lot of
Okay.
misunderstanding about it. We've learned that already in terms of the things that we're learning. And we do have the state, and I'll talk about this tomorrow too, the state offers, you know, a mediator or a consultant or someone from the Department of Administration to work with the subcommittees that draft
Yeah,
these
we've already-
things. And we've already engaged with
Yeah.
him, and we're
Mhm.
talking with him and so on, so, that's part of the
yes,
process.
we made sure that anytime they meet with the village, I had asked Eric from the state to, as often as he can, listen in on the phone to make sure that everything that's been stated is true and correct, yeah, so. Yeah,
I mean, probably the thing that is most important for people to understand right off the bat is that we haven't drafted anything yet.
Right.
Okay, we're doing this so that we're hearing from the community, we want input, we
Right.
want to provide some clarity around what these things are and how they work to the degree that we're able to do that before, you know, we start rolling up our sleeves and getting into, and like you said, I mean, even being able to gather from the town, you know, elected officials, what is it that we even want as part of what we're doing here? So gotta have that first, otherwise we're gonna be
Right.
kind of flying by the seat of our
and
pants.
it's gotta benefit the town, otherwise. And I wanna thank you and you guys for all your extra time doing that. It's a lot of extra time and extra hours put in and, really appreciate it. So, thank you guys. All right, so, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All right, I'm at 5:46 PM. Thank you, everyone. Bye, Joel.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
See you, Joel.
Bye-bye.